So you've confirmed that
Yeah,
you want to be a director too, right?
yeah. The important thing is that there's this double taxation agreement between the UK and Hong Kong, which means conversely you don't get double taxed.
Yeah.
So you kind of choose the jurisdiction that the anything that's generating profits, the
Yeah,
profits come from
I
there.
think the thing that really made me feel safe was that we're saying that there's actually this company runs on nothing
Yes.
basically, and
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. It's not intended to be for profit. Weirdly.
no, it's just it's not a it's not a charity, but it's just not a it's a not for loss company.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. And we're not paying ourselves when we get paid for actually doing outputs and dispersal events. Then that's a separate matter, but that's an individual tax thing. So I'll be covered in UK, but there's no tax implications. The reason I wanted to dive into that was because there can be an implication if it's a UK company. If you simply are a director or a shareholder, rather, a shareholder, and you build up a war chest, you can get actually taxed on the war chest even if you don't use it and you don't pay yourself from it, which is a bit mean, but yeah. But that doesn't
It's
apply.
bullshit.
Yeah. That doesn't apply because of it. It's not as bad as New Zealand. But that doesn't apply because of this double tax agreement with Hong Kong. So whatever
Right.
Hong Kong
Okay, so
says is good.
I'll use OSIM
Yep.
and I'll set up. I need some docs from you then. Uh, I need a copy of your passport. Um, the phone number that you want to use and the email address that you want to use.
Yes, on the email. I can't remember because it's so long ago. Do I have a dreamcatcher.ai email?
Well, no, I don't know if we actually want to even use that domain name. There's fuck all AI about us, really.
Yeah, there is no AI yet. And we presumably can't get IO.
IO's gone. Dreamcatcher Network, I think, might have been available.
It's a bit of a
In
pussy
a way,
domain,
it
isn't
doesn't
it?
even really matter. I mean, the site for the company doesn't really have a site per se. The company is a node within the network. So there's like the Dreamcatcher website of some description that gets published,
Yeah.
and then the company is just an actor within that.
Yeah. The reason I'm asking about email specifically is I've got this pitch coming up, and he asked for an email address, and it's like I could use Eigen November, but that's
Oh,
Gmail and looks a
you
bit.
want one? I can just make you one.
Yeah, it just makes it look a bit better when talking
Yeah,
to externals, and then I can use that
yeah,
one on
okay.
the registration.
Um, yeah.
Phone number's easy enough. What else do you need?
Do you want me to just redirect your email to something else? Otherwise, you're going to have to set up multiple accounts and all that, or what?
I'm okay with multiple accounts because with redirection, it's there's snafus when emailing out, isn't
Yeah,
there? I
okay.
mean, receiving's easy enough, but emailing out.
Yeah. Alrighty. I'll make you an address,
Okay. Yep.
and I'll put those addresses in. So, I mean, This is weird. This is so weird. It's like
Yeah.
we're acting like the company is the Dreamcatcher when it isn't.
Yes. When in fact there is no company other than as a presence, isn't there?
Well, it's basically an enclave that controls how money moves within a subsection of the network.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and having an email address associated with the company, it's almost like we want to be. When you join the Dreamcatcher, you create a user account, and it comes with an email address. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we kind of want to present as one. We want the whole network to present as one company. That's really
Right.
really how we want it. One of the scenarios we want to be able to support is that, as you said, you knew a guy that was an excellent salesperson.
Yeah.
And so what you'd want is for him to be able to go keep his day job, and then when he spots an opportunity, be like, oh, I will present as a member of the Dreamcatcher there, and I will sell in as the Dreamcatcher.
Right.
Or
Right.
and then, but we want him to be able to use this company, Dreamcatcher Inc., as though it was like the legal entity behind it.
Yeah, because it's the surface which presents itself to the world, beyond which you're in Dreamcatcher would land. And
Right. So, but then when you try to explain that to people, it gets confusing. So really, the network, if we made Dreamcatcher.ai be this is the network's name, and then the company is just like, I don't know, HongKong.Dreamcatcher.ai.
No, Dreamcatcher.hk is probably available.
Right, but when you see the company, it's different to the network. It
Yes.
needs to be a subset of the network.
Yes. Well, with the idea that what we're trying to do here is further traceability using Wise, to have at
Yep.
least one portal out to the world which people can use to transact cash through. We could call that anything. In fact, we shouldn't call it Dreamcatcher.
Right. Okay, so what's the company name?
Could be anything. In fact,
I like the names that AWS use, where they're like, EU1.AWS.
right.
Like they have regional names for their data centers.
Well, maybe that's a way to set this up then. Because we could have the TLD being Dreamcatcher, and we can create as many subdomains as we want, and the subdomains are the enclaves.
Yeah, because they have like US East 2.AmazonAWS.com.
Right. And it keeps that
So
brand while showing that this is actually a sub part of this. It's not the full thing.
Okay, so what's the AWS zone name for Hong Kong?
I have no
The
idea.
one closest to it. I'm pretty sure there's a AWS China. There's a Singapore, Seoul, Osaka, Hong Kong. So it will be AP East 1.
What's it called? EP.
So the name of this gateway, if we're copying Amazon's names,
Uh-huh.
AP Asia Pacific East 1.
Well, it's nice and
It's basically the
extensible.
Hong Kong gateway.
It's nice and extensible. So it'll be APE1 dot Dreamcatcher dot AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm happy with that. That preserves the idea that this is not the whole thing. And in fact, nobody gets the
No.
whole thing.
No. And then email addresses, I mean, we can just set up at dreamcatcher.ai because it makes it easier at the start. But really, that would be like, that would come with your account
Yeah.
when you signed up and you passed like the Wise verification and you sent in funds using Wise. Then if you just held a balance, you'd get an email name.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, exactly.
So the company name is apeast1.dreamcatcher.ai. If I'm allowed dots in the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And so the metaphor is Amazon regions. And instead of regions of computing infrastructure, it's regions of fiscal infrastructure.
Yes. Yeah. Because all of it spreads everywhere, of course.
Jurisdictional infrastructure.
Yeah.
So instead of like a data center, it's like a funding center.
Yeah. Did you search all
Okay.
the other Dreamcatcher TLDs then? Because you're right, AI has
Yeah.
nothing to do with this. They're all taken.
Wow.
Except
I
for
wanted land.
some lame ones.
Dreamcatcher.land's gone. There's a few. I mean, you know, if you find one you like, grab it. AI is not even us, but one day.
It's aspirational.
Yeah,
it's-
and I think it doesn't really matter.
No, it's not worth the effort to
for
look
the
for
company
either.
registration. In which case, it's probably better to make our emails not be Dreamcatcher emails. Just the emails that we submit to the company's registry are just like private emails or the emails that we want to be contacted on.
Right. Yeah, that works. Because these are two different jobs. What I need to do is to email back to this guy and not look like I'm just, working out of the front room.
Yeah.
But I guess on the company registration, actually, it's more appropriate. That's the private email, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you, no point overcomplicating it, I'll just make you an address so you can serve both roles
Yeah.
with the same address. And then I will set up a business account using Wise
Yep.
and
Let's see if they will accept, a Hong Kong company.
they will. The downside is that they don't issue debit cards to Hong Kong companies, so that company can't like pay bills with a credit card. But I mean, like, that company shouldn't have any money.
No.
So
They might have expenses, but I'm sure
like what though? Well, I mean, there's the company upkeep, which is like, I think it's like 500 US a year or something.
Yeah, it's about 300 quid, isn't it?
Something like that. But
Yeah.
good. Cheaper than a DAO on Ethereum.
Everything's cheaper than Ethereum.
Um,
You get a private bank in London for less than Ethereum.
all right, so here's a question for you then. How do we pay for the company from within the Dreamcatcher?
So we were talking yesterday that this is effectively a route in and out. It doesn't hold, and takes
It
reasonable.
holds during escrow.
Sure, yeah. And there's no interest being generated, so there will need to be a modest percentage that is into operating costs, and I don't see any other way.
Yeah. So we'd set up a pool that represents the cost of setting up and running the company, and then that would be funded. There's a hard limit on that because you have to fund that idea to the tune of the actual cost of setting it up before it can activate. Once it's done, the contributors to that get minted NFTs for their contribution. And through ambient attribution, that asset is attributed to every time its utility benefits someone.
Yep.
And then that attribution then flows back to the contributors who put in labor and cash to get the company made and continue to do so to keep it up.
Yes. Now, all that needs, because there's an output, it needs a request and idea. Do we put that into the pool?
Yeah. Well, I'm in the process of writing up that doc for the Hong Kong company. It will be a derivative of the web liquidity pooling doc. I will put that up, and then I'll notify everyone in Discord, because I think it's only fair that everyone else has some say on it too before we go and just do something. And then that's basically the proposal. Which reminds me that it might be that in our paper model, we need to separate out the outputs from the idea, because how can you enable two people who are in conflict with each other to attempt to solve or deliver on the same idea?
Now I think I've got an issue raised on this one. You fork the idea, and the idea includes your outputs, which can be anything. Just a GitHub repo, could be a legal document.
Yeah, but anything. Then you've modified the idea, so it should be that requests should have no sort of reference to ideas. And so ideas should have no reference to outputs. Outputs should reference ideas. And you know, like you can in an idea you can specify some kind of output class, like I want a Git repo, but you shouldn't be able to be specific because you've blocked someone else fulfilling that idea.
It's almost like we're missing a class of object here, for want of a better word. It's like an
output object,
an output report or something like that. Some kind of container, because if it's going to be more than one object, more than one output.
You're missing basically like a manifest or
right, and anyone can turn up and work on an idea and produce outputs. You're not necessarily going to have to stick to every part of that idea. If you're doing it, you don't want to have to go back around the boy with QA. The idea is the idea. So you put deviations. I fulfilled its idea. However, in doing it, I had to go do it X instead of you asked for Y. However, it has the same outcome. And here's the list of outputs.
But it's more than that. It's more about allowing multiple people to submit and receive the funding. Because someone might fund an idea, they shouldn't be allowed to care who delivered on it. But then furthermore, they should be able to fund an output, which is where they actually do care who is submitting it. So it's just three levels of specificity for your funding.
Yeah. But you agree that we're missing an object type?
Yeah, we're missing the output.
Yeah. Or it's
bundle.
It's a bundle of outputs. So take, for example, this one we're doing at the moment with the company. You set up a Hong Kong company. I think actually Gibraltar would be better.
Do you?
No, For argument's sake.
Right.
But the output is going to be completely different. But they could both actually meet the parameters of the idea.
Yeah.
So you need some way of packaging up.
Yeah. Okay. Can I leave that to you to figure out how to do that
I'll
one?
think about that, and I do think I think we're missing one step in that process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a similar topic, there's been a publication from Vitalik Buterin talking about soulbound tokens,
Okay.
which sounds a lot like our items for ghosts.
Oh, excellent.
I will
got a link?
post a copy of the paper in Discord, but that'll be an interesting read. It sounds a lot like some of our concepts that we've been kicking around.
It's always good to converge. You might have spotted something we've missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it helps that when someone famous says it, everyone thinks it's right.
Which is dangerous in the extreme.
Yeah, that's how the world works.
It is.
Okay, so we'll set up the company. You'll send me your passport details.
Is that all you need? Passport, phone number, and email. Is that all you need?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I just use the phone number that I usually use to contact you on?
Yep. And email we talked about.
Yeah, company name is going to be very non-specific. We're just copying Amazon.
Yep.
And pay them the money. We won't be able to have a debit card, and we won't have a Hong Kong bank account, but we can get that set up separately. It's just that doesn't come from Wise.
Right, but what we can do is, if we did ever need to use a debit card for something, we can transfer from Wise to either of you or I, and then we can use our own cards, right? I mean, there's no reason.
Or you can use our Wise personal accounts.
Yeah.
Have cards attached.
Right.
And so we would use those.
Yeah, and all we need to do is to then keep a record of what was spent on, so that I think the annual
we basically need to submit it to the pool so that it's like, this is money that.
Yeah.
I
think that's going to be just such an edge case that actually might just end up just working it out in the margins.
No, man. I think this is actually one of the critical things, because this concept allows you to, taken to its extreme, allows you to conduct actions at a distance from basically saying, hey, I need this bill paid at the Bank of Belize. There's someone else who's in Belize paying it, coming back to you, and because of the trust you have within the network, being like, I've done this, and you're like, thank you, here's your money, right? Like, that concept is a dangerous concept, because now suddenly you can get things done, and it wasn't you.
Okay.
Acting on
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Right, it's subtle but dangerous. It's a very, very dangerous concept. A lot of laws are made to try and stop people being able to do that, right? Because it's hard to police an operation that works in that way.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. But that specific debit card thing with Wise is specific to Wise and Hong Kong.
Wise in Hong Kong, yeah. If we were registered in any other place, and of all the places I looked at, Hong Kong is the most respectable.
Yeah.
Like, it's better than the British Virgin Islands is looking pretty shady these days.
Yeah.
Hong Kong's kind of friends with China.
Yeah.
I can actually get there without too much trouble. To get to Europe, you pretty much have to go through Hong Kong out of Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll just do the minimum share allocations, right? Like 1 share each
Yeah,
or $1 each.
there's no need for anything more than that. Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna owe me $1.
Yep. The other thing we should do, which I'm quite happy to do on this side, or you can do, but it's admin. So because there's now a company, there'll be some kind of reporting requirement. And what we don't want to do is
that's what this company handles. That's what OSIM handles for us.
So they do things like AGMs and so on. Surely
they handle it for us.
All right, but okay, all right. I'll have a look more at the services to make sure we're not going to run afoul of that one, because they're probably going to look for input from us. They might do filing.
It's all online. They do it all online. We sign the documents with them online. There's no like actual paper.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That moves.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right.
And then everything we spoke about can happen through the Wise business account.
Yeah. Brilliant. I'll have to think about that manifest step today.
Kind of needs to be there.
Yeah, I think it does. All right, cool. Right, I think I probably need to go, not urgently, is there anything else to do, or are we good?
No, man.
Nice one. Okay, next available is Saturday if we need it, or Sunday. Stuart's birthday on Friday.
We'll see how we go. The time. Yeah. What are you working on now? What are you trying to get across the line?
I'm trying to get across. I'm actually executing on the I11 as an output.
Okay.
So that's and the in addition to that, which is something we don't have a request for, is that diagram, which I still haven't delivered.
Yeah.
And the third thing is working out what 5 or 6 slide. Well, starting from 2 or 3 texts. That's what we talked about last time. 2 or 3 texts to this private equity guy, and then moving to that from that to 5 or 6 slides of very non-technical.
What is the NFT for that?
That's I think we've got. God, this is quite a long time ago, so it's probably going to need updated. A request for. Is this essentially? Is this marketing or business development, or what is this? What is pitch?
And in the same basket, there's also making sure the website is actually easy to follow.
Yes. Yeah.
Has an actual path. You were talking about doing some sketching of the website changes that you would make.
Right. That's actually following through from the thinking about how do you explain it to like a private equity guy, but then we've got 3 other groups to talk to through that website. So we'll talk to a worker in different ways. We'll talk to a PE.
Yeah. So I mean, like, does the website start with 3 tabs where you're like for individuals, for funders, for businesses?
Yep. Actually, it would be the 4th one. So someone bringing in intellectual property to make it available inside the network without doing anything else to it.
I feel like that's too advanced for now.
Okay.
Like, what's an example of where we'd use that now?
Docusaurus. See if Docusaurus already exists, we're making use of it.
Right. Yeah, but that's not there's no call to action to the owners of Docusaurus. Like, we're not promoting to them. We don't need to walk them through how it works. We're just doing that.
I guess it's I don't want to ignore it, but maybe de-emphasize it.
Well, it's not someone we want in our funnel, right? The people we want in our funnel: workers, funders, and customers,
Yep.
right? We can, with just those three groups, we can go a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll de-emphasize that, or we'll leave it out for now. Yeah. Okay. Don't see any
But
problems with
just,
that.
well, where are we trying to get to? Like, what are we? This is back to feeling fuzzy again. Like a whole bunch of stuff to solve some problems that are years old. How do we bundle it? When is it done?
It's done as far as I'm concerned when we got that I-11 process through, so that we can actually then open it up and invite people to work in the way that we've been
Right.
working.
So, yeah, but does I-11 need the website redone?
No, but the website needs to go, once I-11's done, the website needs to go through that process in order to be done. But what we're, I think, experiencing now is because we're now in a position where the idea can be encapsulated in a couple minutes of chat. It's getting much easier to actually tell people about this, and then inevitably they ask, "Do you have a business card? Do you have a website? Can I know more?" and so on. And it's like, where do we point them to?
Right. So it sounds like you need to make a request for like a storefront or shop front,
Right, right, exactly.
right? That sounds like what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
You're trying to make the landing page introductory text, introductory deck, and introductory website.
yeah, 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 precisely. But that work needs to go through that I-11 process.
Okay.
It feels pretty tight. Obviously what you've done with saying, well, let's just talk about those three instead of the four I was talking about, essentially working on the idea for the website. So who do we need to talk to? That idea needs to be written.
Okay, so you're trying to get through I-11
Yep. And then
as the output of I-11.
Yep. And then bootstrap that into the materials around pitching to what appears to be a growing number of people.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that's like the first thing, and then later comes like
Right.
a request for these materials, like these very introductory level for dummies type
Yeah.
materials.
Yeah. Yeah. Precisely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How is the amount of time that you're getting to do work going lately?
Not great over the last couple of weeks, just because of quite a large number of birthdays and family things. So I've had Jude's dad is 80, Stuart's 18, Jude's 50. She won't probably like me saying that on a stream. And the prep around that and getting Stuart out the door to the paratroopers. So I'm probably down to about 40 pomos a week at the moment. So it's not ideal. But at the end, after this week, it's going to increase because all that gets shifted through.
So 8 a day.
Yeah, that's not very good.
That's horrible.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah, exactly. But once I get through this period, where, I mean, take for example tomorrow, we've got a very large family dinner going down, and there's going to be inevitable calls in my time where I'm probably only get half a day's work out of that.
well, what more can we do? I mean,
Well, as I say, once we get through this, it'll go back up to where it was, which was, I was getting 20, 24 pomos a day 3 weeks ago.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So who's gonna be our first customer?
I love the Journal app and the Mayday app. So we pitched, let's see, we get those ideas written, and they will need separate kind of explanatory material as well, and then we pitch those. Unless you've got a favorite app outside of those two, I think those are the two we're talking about, wasn't
it? No, I don't know which app I would be pitching. Who are we pitching it to, though? A funder, a customer, or a builder?
It would have to start with the funders. Because in both cases, we're not talking about something that's necessarily going to generate revenue in a classic sense.
So we've got the CRM customer that we can pull in, and it would actually start paying through the gateway company for this app. Then we can pull in builders. From basically, builders follow money.
Yeah.
Funders have money, but customers follow apps or hunt out apps. And a customer funder is kind of the ideal person that we want. Someone who turns up wanting an app, we convert them to pay in advance for it, making them a funder, and then we go find the builders.
Yeah.
So really, like, the people we want to find the most are customer funders.
Initially, yeah. And then quite quick after that, build awareness and attract workers, which we could always short circuit, of course.
I think that'll sort of happen by the by. I don't think we really need to advertise to workers, because we'll go out and just find them on Upwork and say, this is our ticket tracking system. This is how we connect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it still feels fucking fuzzy to me, but at least having a company is something.
Yeah. It doesn't feel too fuzzy on this side. It feels we're still bootstrapping, in that we're trying to explain something by using the process which we used to build the process itself. But putting the bootstrap aside
somehow.
Say again?
I wish we could get out of that.
Yeah.
It's sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, but we the minimum that we need in order to have to worry about bootstrapping ourselves up is we've got the pool process. We need some way of explaining this to the people we want to attract, and we need.
Yeah, look, I do honestly wonder if we actually, the amount of time we've spent trying to explain ourselves is kind of annoying. Like, it's been years, and we're getting better at it, and it's getting simpler and all that, but I mean, you don't really need to explain the whole thing to someone who just desperately wants an app for a good price, and they only want to pay once it's delivered.
Yep.
Right? You don't need a hell of a lot of promotion or anything to get that one across the line. That's just a handcrafted phone call. Yes, business cards and a website would be sort of the minimum, but let's not burn a bunch of time trying to explain shit when we actually have our own selves that can go and do direct calls with people.
Yeah, no, I agree. And actually, this is just a distilling, because the two pitches I've done were literally, leaning over to talking to someone in the table beside us in the restaurant for 5 minutes. That was literally it.
Can you do something like that and record it so that we can either convince someone to take your call on YouTube or something.
Yeah, I'm going to try
Anyone.
and this second one who's interested in being introduced by the guy I was actually talking to. I'll see if we can get him to be okay with recording. The other two, it wasn't really possible because it was well, I asked, and it was like it felt a bit weird, but also it was very noisy environment. So wouldn't have been ideal anyway. But I did ask, and they said, "Can you just tell me?" It's like, okay, fair enough. But this next one should be able to do.
Okay.
And remember, these are complete strangers. I didn't even have an intro to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, shit, man. Don't even know how to explain the fuzziness I'm seeing, but
Okay, well, how about we just
keep on writing the code for it, and I'll get this company set up, and then we can sort of see how things pan out.
Yeah.
But someone other people putting money in is like the real test.
Yes.
And we are the first workers, so we're sort of trying to sell our own services first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still not sure how the fuck we're going to invoice someone. Like, where'd the invoice come from? Did it come from AP1?
It would. It's
Can
point
this
contract.
gateway company invoice?
It would have to be each individual effectively invoicing. Well, you set up the contract.
No, you need to be invoicing as one of the gateways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like you're like Dreamcatcher Inc. trading as AP1-East. You know, like the legal entity that invoiced you needs to be one of the regions. Just like when you go with your browser to a website, you're technically hitting one of the Amazon regions, but they're sort of fronting for someone else. Right? That invoice needs to be a standard Dreamcatcher invoice generated in our systems transparently so everyone can see it.
Yep.
The actors that issued it need to be in there. Yeah, so like these gateways need to be able to do firewalling, like billing. Like,
yes, well, it's effectively.
They need to protect the members. They need to protect the members so that the members enjoy the limited liability and legal backing of the gateway. The reliability of the gateway is accessible to the members.
Yeah. Although members wouldn't be considered shareholders anyway, and a limited company would be limited in liability to the shareholders.
Yeah, but if you've got a stranger going into a company trying to sell Dreamcatcher network services, and they need to invoice that company so that the company pays money, it needs to be paying the money to the gateway, not to the individual. The individual is like an employee with no shares.
Yeah. How did TEDx do it?
So,
it's a similar kind of idea to TEDx, isn't it?
yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's just like the gateway will issue invoices. So any individual can cause an invoice to be generated. They have their DPL agreement with the gateway, so that if they've misbehaved, they'll be punished somehow. And then anybody can pick up a Dreamcatcher invoice. Anyone can bill as Dreamcatcher Inc.
Well, that's fair enough, isn't it? I don't think it needs to be anything more than that, because when you've got transactions, who are we actually transacting with? It's the gateway in all cases. It's the central hub.
Yeah. one of the gateways is
Yeah.
who you are transacting to.
Yeah, so it makes sense that that's where the paperwork is.
Yeah. And then, like Amazon, we should be treating money as data the same way they treat data. So no charges to pay in, and then we like charge some sort of a fee for the amount of money that when you pull data out, that costs you.
Yeah, that works. What that allows us is friction free within the network, and in fact, that's what Wise do as well. It's like so that's not controversial.
Well, Wise is even better. They don't really charge you in or out. They only charge you when you change currencies.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They pass on the